Everybody's talking about the new toy funny, but it's just a piece of crap to me. That might have been a little bit mean, but you know. The new Haslab for Transformers has been announced. It is the LioKaiser combiner set made out of the Breastmasters from Transformers Victory. Now, just to make things clear here, I have in fact watched Transformers Headmasters, Transformers Master Force, and Transformers Victory from Japan. And out of those, actually, Master Force was my favorite one. But I am familiar with these characters enough, but it's been a while. That being said, this is a combiner that I actually would want, generally. However, as, let's say, lenient as I've been with Haslabs with the G.I. Joe stuff and the Ghostbusters stuff, I've always kind of felt like the Transformers were kind of pushing it. Now, I've got a Unicron, I've got Star Saber, and I've got Deathsaurus, and I also backed the Omega Prime, which that one was a tough one for me to decide on. That being said, looking at this, $300 seems kind of ridiculous. So when you look at this guy, it's supposed to be 12 inches tall combined, which makes him actually, from what I could tell, a little bit shorter than our current Bruticus figure is. And Bruticus is, for all intents and purposes, a 4 Deluxe and a Commander class. This guy looks like he is basically just 6 Deluxe figures to create this one, which in of itself isn't a problem. Now we get to the unlockable tiers. Let's take a look at this first. The articulation looks okay. I would like to see a little better images, or the actual, what I really want to see is individual figures. But I will give them credit for working in the articulation in the figures, and it does look like it's better than what they did with Combiner Wars, which was just a mess when you got right down to it. We have our individual figures here. This is where people are starting to have issues with it, because let's be honest, I would say the majority of the fandom that I have seen talking about this, it's been negative. People are talking about the hollow spaces in the figures, and when you when you look at this guy here, is it GAIHAWK? I'm terrible with names to start with, but you know, look at the inside of that arm. That's 100% hollow, and from what I can tell, it has nothing to do with transformation. It's just cheaply made. And that to me is problematic to start with, especially when you're doing a Haslab. Again, hollow arms, although it does look like his fists might fold into there. His fists don't look like they do, but I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that. And of course, let's be honest with this one, ELLBAT. His name is actually hellbat, but they don't want to put that on there. Again, we got another vehicle. He's definitely suffering from hollow part syndrome here. Like, this just looks ridiculous. Unless those slots there are attaching to tabs, that is just a stupid looking version of doing that arms. Although I guess, I don't know. And I would need to see what the original toys looked like. I can't imagine that this thing looked this bad originally, but I mean, it was 80s Transformer, so it is possible. But overall, it's okay. Then we get our first unlock with it, which is deathcobra. And right now, I'm just going to straight out say it. For the price that they want for this is not worth it until this tier at the very least is unlocked. So if I were to go ahead and support this Haslab, it's not going to be until this tier is unlocked. And I don't know. I'm not confident that's going to happen. I think those hollow parts are no, wait. He's got big old hollow legs, and the hollow legs look like they're right here. So it looks like, again, there's no real reason for that to be that hollow. That's just, oh God, why? Unless they're trying to say that, you know, oh, because he turns into this blaster part here, that's why it's hollow. Then we get to this. Like, this is stupid. Like, fine, I get it. They used it in the show, whatever. But this as an unlockable tier, no, come on, man. Give us something better. And my personal favorite that is always absolutely ridiculous. At 18,000 backers, you get a base to stick on his crotch. Alright, these bases with the Transformers. This isn't like the Ghostbusters Proton Pack, where it's a giant-ass base, and I can understand that as a separate tier. This is a freaking display stand for a Transformer Combiner that's a foot tall. That should not be an unlockable tier. If you're going to put it in there, that should be part of the damn thing. And you should give us something better. I don't know what. I'd have to rewatch, you know, Transformers Victory to really decide. But I just don't see this. This just seems hard to swallow as a Haslab for $300. Because again, this is okay. Even if you add deathcobra, we call this 6 deluxe size Transformers at $25 a piece. You're looking at $150. Wait, no, sorry, 7 Transformers, $175. That's how much this should cost in the store to buy all the parts separately. But they want $300, almost twice the amount that it should cost in the store. And I'm not gonna lie, if they had gone with like 200, maybe even 225, that would feel a little bit more understandable. But what the hell is the extra $100 for? Seriously, like what exactly are we getting out of this other than the exclusiveness? And as much as they want to say like probably something to the effect of this is a Japanese one from a series that wasn't released here, that's why we decided to do it. You know, that's why they did Star Saber, and that's why they did Deathsaurus that way. But hey, don't forget, Omega Prime, which would be the equivalent of 2 commander classes and a deluxe, was also done at Haslab. And that series was released in the States. So that excuse of them just doing these Japanese ones, plus, in the case of the car robots / robots in disguise, Sideburn is actually been released in the main line. So that's even less of a reason for the Omega Prime to be released as it is. You could have just done Optimus and Ultra Magnus as separate commander classes. And we don't need the bow to transform into a robot. They only did that to justify the extended price, because they give us a deluxe Transformer extra and they charge $50 more, you know? Or at least that's what it feels like. I want to see more of this figure before I fully decide if I want to get it. I want to see how all the articulation works and how well it works. I want to see the individual articulation on the separate robots, because this is all stuff that helped me decide. But I watched the video on YouTube that was put out, the official one, and it really doesn't give you that much information. I think it was actually down at the bottom of this, wasn't it? Sorry for scrolling so fast. I mean, we're seeing some poses here with some of these figures. I'm just clicking through real quick. But we're not seeing a whole lot of them, in my opinion. Not enough. And just size-wise, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like over 12 inches tall. So yeah, okay, so maybe it'll be about the same size as Bruticus. Because Bruticus is a little over, I think Bruticus is closer to 13 inches, but I'm not 100% sure. I find that this is going to be a hard one to do. Like I said, I can't see supporting this one until after this is unlocked right here. Because to me, you know, we just went over the cost of, you know, 6 and 7 deluxes. And even if it just ends up being the 6 main ones, then you're paying twice as much money as it should be. You're basically paying leader class prices, practically, for all the individual robots here that look like they're going to be a deluxe size. Because again, these guys are all the same height, and they all look to be deluxe. As the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to the charges on this, they've now added a Haslab surcharge to your orders. That's an extra $16 on here just for the joy of using Haslab. I can say right now that this may be one of the dumbest things I have seen them do. You're charging us to use your Haslab to crowdfund your item. I don't typically go with the whole being offended thing, but this absolutely offends me. What the F are you thinking, Hasbro? If they try to pull this with the next G.I. Joe classified Haslab, I might just consider not backing any more G.I. Joe shit and just stopping with that collection altogether. So that's my thought on this. Let me know what you guys think. But I thank you for watching, and peace and love.